This is slide 91 of the chapter 18 PowerPoint slides, and this is probably our last topic is acid-base balance, which is really a huge thing in our overall health. The normal pH range of the extracellular fluid, and that includes our blood, is 7.35 to 7.45, which is slightly basic, little bit basic. It's close to normal, but it's a little bit basic. And the body systems that are the most sensitive to changes in that pH are the nervous system and the cardiovascular system. So it's more common to have problems with low pH or acidosis because normal cellular activities generate acids. Like, just for example, when you exercise or work out, sometimes for a long enough time, your muscles will build up lactic acid. Other acids that build up due to normal cellular activities are carbonic acid, pyruvic acid, and ketone bodies build up just due to, normal digestion type activities in response to breaking down the foods that we eat. Now, the condition that's called acidosis occurs when the pH of the blood is below 7.35. If acidosis is severe, that means the pH is below 7, this can be fatal. In severe acidosis, the central nervous system function declines. Person can go into a coma. This happens with probably, if you've heard about acidosis, more than likely you've heard about the condition DKA or diabetic ketoacidosis. That is a very, that's probably the most common cause of acidosis is when a diabetic's blood glucose levels have been high for a long, a extended period of time, and they are producing ketones in their blood, then they can go into acidosis and they can go into a coma. They can also have cardiac contractions that weaken, or weak cardiac contractions that lead to heart failure. They can have vasodilation that causes their blood pressure to drop, leading to the collapse of their circulatory system. Again, acidosis is more common than alkalosis. Alkalosis comes from the word alkaline or basic, and that is when the pH of the blood is above 7.45. When the pH rises above 8, alkalosis can be fatal. Now, some common things that can cause acidosis and alkalosis. You can have alkalosis if you're vomiting and you are vomiting or have diarrhea really bad and you become dehydrated. And acidosis, of course, from the high blood sugar. All right, now, carbon dioxide levels. When carbon dioxide increases, it will lower the pH. So the rate of your breathing, because that alters the carbon dioxide concentrations, will change your blood pH. So, and basically, if carbon dioxide levels increase in your blood, it's going to lower your blood pH. And if carbon dioxide levels decrease too much, it's going to raise your blood pH. We have buffer systems, which are combinations of weak acids and dissociation products, which will include a hydrogen ion and an anion. So these buffer systems, when your pH is too low, they will absorb that excess hydrogen and your pH will raise. When your pH is too high, the buffer system will release hydrogen ion and cause the pH to lower. So basically, buffer systems work by adjusting the concentration of hydrogen ions in your body fluids. There are 3 important buffer systems. They're the protein buffer systems, the carbonic acid bicarbonate buffer system, and the phosphate buffer system. The carbonic acid bicarbonate buffer system is the one I'm going to go over a little bit with you because it's the most important in preventing pH changes caused by metabolic acid. So it's the most important buffer system that prevents pH changes due to lactic acid buildup when you exercise, or due to ketones that form when your blood glucose levels are too high. So what happens is the carbon dioxide levels rise, and the respiratory system will compensate by excreting more carbon dioxide. So you basically will hyperventilate to get rid of the excess carbon dioxide. Now, and so let's talk a little bit more about the respiratory system compensating for low and high pH. So your breathing can help alter your the pH levels in your blood by either increasing the carbon dioxide in your blood or decreasing it. So let's say you have a rise in carbon dioxide due to a low pH. That's going to stimulate chemoreceptors that will cause your medulla oblongata, which has like a acceleratory and cardio-inhibitory centers. So the medulla will cause you to breathe faster. It will cause you to hyperventilate, and that is going to make you release that excess carbon dioxide. Now, let's say you have low carbon dioxide due to a high pH, then your medulla oblongata is going to cause you to decrease your respiratory rate. You won't breathe as fast. You'll hypoventilate. Then you have renal compensation for pH changes. So this is how your kidneys compensate. What the kidney tubules can do is, this happens at the level usually of the DCT, happens around that level when your DCT is helping to adjust the concentration of your urine and your blood. So your kidney tubules can reabsorb hydrogen and excrete bicarbonate when the pH is high. That means reabsorb hydrogen into your blood, and that's going to cause your blood pH to lower. And release the bicarbonate, and bicarbonate is basic. So if you release it, that's going to also cause you to have lower pH. Then, when your pH is low, the kidney tubules will excrete hydrogen in the urine and reabsorb bicarbonate. So that will make your blood more basic and cause your pH to raise. This is a table of common acid-base disorders. So if you go into respiratory acidosis, most commonly that's caused by hypoventilation, which is slow breathing. When you do that, carbon dioxide can build up in your tissues and lower your blood pH. The treatment is to improve ventilation. In metabolic acidosis, such as with diabetic ketoacidosis, the administration of bicarbonate, I guess, but if it's diabetic ketoacidosis, you give the person insulin. So they don't have that as an example, I guess, but it's caused by buildup of metabolic acid, impaired hydrogen excretion at the kidneys, or bicarbonate loss in the urine or feces. So it can be caused by other things, but so what happens in diabetic ketoacidosis also, if a person gets that bad off with their blood glucose levels being high for an extended period of time, it causes them to lose a lot of bicarbonate and other ions in the urine because they urinate so much. They'll have a very high volume of urine. They'll be wanting to drink large amounts of water. I mean, like more than even a person who's thirsty after exercising. They'll just can't get enough water, and they'll be urinating and losing all those electrolytes, including bicarbonate in the urine. So it can make their blood pH decrease even more. Now, alkalosis, respiratory alkalosis, is caused by hyperventilation, which is that, when you're breathing very deep and very fast. It's very uncommon, but when a person hyperventilates, especially due to, let's say, like a panic attack, or anxiety. The treatment is to lower their respiratory rate and allow the carbon dioxide levels to build back up. It's just to slow their breathing down. You may have even seen in the movies or something, you may have seen them breathe through a paper, a paper sack, a paper bag, to lower their breathing rate. Then there is metabolic alkalosis, which can be caused by prolonged vomiting, and that will cause your pH to rise. And it also can be caused by dehydration, which would happen with vomiting. But if you're dehydrated, you sometimes will have a high blood pH. So, how would a prolonged fast affect the body's pH? Well, if you go into a prolonged fast, your body is eventually going to start breaking down fat because you won't be taking in enough carbohydrates, right? So your body's going to start breaking down fat. And when your body uses fat for cellular respiration, then fat can produce ketones, which will cause your blood pH to drop. And you can go into acidosis from that. Okay, age-related changes in the urinary system, and this should be about it. You are going to have a lower number of functional nephrons. Nephron function is going to decrease, and you'll lose function in some of them. You'll have a reduction in filtration rate, reduced sensitivity to ADH and aldosterone, so you lose more water in your urine, and therefore you lose more electrolytes. And problems with urination in general. And that is it for chapter 18.